That's right, family. Black Power. Black Power is the truth hour with General Sarah Seti. Kick back. Get your mind ready for some information that's guaranteed to be heavy. That's right, family. So excited and delighted to be accepting members to the Sarah Seti YouTube page. Y'all already know what it is. Dynamic, energetic, you see, futuristic, prophetic, and all those things wrapped up in one. And so, we're elated to be accepted members, so we can give you the best. That's what we do over here. Check the resume. You see what I'm saying? Even today, we going where no other minds dare to go because they don't even know to go there. You see, so hit the link in the video description in the chat room. Brother Ray already on deck. Got the links in there for your family. Hit that join and you'll get the introduction video, give you the rundown on the membership. You can see we already got some dynamic lectures already uploaded for our members, and we'll be uploading very soon to continue to, give our members the necessary firepower to stay on top of everything. That's right. So join today. If you don't join, you still good with me. We appreciate your presence over here at Sarah Seti's YouTube page. That's right. This Sunday, that's right, we're in the house. Let me get it in here. This Sunday. Okay. Yeah, there we go. That's right. There we go. The sacred black art of alchemy, the divinity of blackness codified in language. A very profound lecture that you should have yourself front row and center. Do not miss it. That's what I can tell you. Do not miss it. The link is down there in the chat video description. And we'll have a rundown tomorrow on many of the things we'll be addressing, trying to give you the God vision. You understand? When you read, you be like, goddamn, what's his name? Percy Jackson. When you see on the first movie, he look up and the words start rearranging and shit and say something totally different. But you got to have the God vision. You see what I'm saying? So this Sunday, May 28th is going down, and we have many lectures already in the queue. General Seti, I keep it leaping on Ticket Leap. You see, and so we got many lectures in the queue. And so go on over there, check me out, generalseti.ticketleap.com, and get on deck today. That's right, ring the alarm, kingseti.com. Let me get in there. What happened now? That's all right. Ring the alarm, kingseti.com, online marketplace. We on deck. You understand, with some of the most fabulous T-shirts, products on the market right now. DVDs, T-shirts, tank tops, African and Egyptian jewelry. We got the classic and Jurassic DVD lectures. You see what I'm saying? You got to go and get them. You see what I'm saying? That's that classic material, not going nowhere. You see what I'm saying? Not going nowhere. Still the premier lectures of the era on top subjects that need to be discussed. We got the fattest T-shirts around right now. You go over there, check out the summer collection. When you get to kingseti.com, you click the new items and you start seeing all the T-shirts, tank tops, lady tees. We got the hoodies. Some niggas still need a hoodie, you know what I'm saying? For whatever reason, I know it's hot out here, but and I'm gonna leave it there. But we got them there for you. You feel me? And so we got we got about 50 new ones on deck. You feel me? That I know you gonna love. So get on over there, check them out. We also got the African and Kemetic jewelry, holistic tonics and remedies, home decor accessories for every room in the house. Check us out, kingseti.com. Pull the fire alarm. We've been doing work on generalseti.com. Pull the fire alarm. We've been doing heavy work over there on generalseti.com. SETI University. Class is now in session. We got over 1,000 videos on African history, heritage, spirituality, nation building, advanced African academics, developing the Black nation one lesson at a time. The complete General Sarasun SETI website. We dropped the Ban Occult, New World Order, Illuminati video library. We got fire. You see, when you go into that one, you go most definitely gain access to a lot of documentaries that have been banned off of the way, most internet platform. And it's for a reason why, because, it's uncut. You see what I'm saying? And so we got access to a lot of that. And we are building that banned video library catalog over there. So most definitely get on over there and check it out. Of course, we got other video libraries such as Creatures from the Caucasus, Rise of the Neanderthal. We got the Holy Mother, Black Mother of Civilization video library and catalog, and many, many more. And so get on over there and get access to that. SETI popping on Patreon. BPC making noise. We never come. Exclusive live stream. Too hot to handle on YouTube. We got Champellion and the false teachings of the Medu Nedu. You need to get over there. We dropped part one. Was there once giants living in ancient Egypt? Now I'm going in again tonight around 10 something. After we drop a couple of them on YouTube, we doing 4 lessons tonight. But most definitely, I got some heavy research to add to. Was there once giants living in ancient Egypt? You're going to want that. You're going to want it. If I tell you I done did extra research, then that means it's going to be heavy mental tonight. You see what I'm saying? And we got others, Egyptian astrological origins of Jacob and the 12 tribes. We did that not far back. The Cleopatra Netflix controversy exposed, and we got more to add to that. You feel me? So most definitely get on over there. Make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels, King SETI, General SETI, Sarasun SETI. Rock that notification bell. Get a video a thumbs up. Like it because you love it. Share it with your family and friends. And comment. Just don't say nothing stupid, because I will ban your ass. You will be up out of here. All right. Now, we got a powerful one today. The Hashashin assassins. Was the Hashashin modeled after the African Persian Immortals? You see, this is very important that we look into this. You see, this is very important that we look into this. Now, when we talk about, now, too many of y'all all over, watching Assassin's Creed. You see, watching Assassin's Creed. Where my notes at? Okay, we good. We're in the house. You see, we're in the house. And so, watching Assassin's Creed, but we have to understand when you start talking about, see, now we use the term Persia. Okay? But we use it so that we can identify. You see, well, we say African Persians. You see what I'm saying? Only Persian, only to say that a geographical area, just like you say African Arabians. And Persian, when you deal with the origin of Persian, you see the matriarch of the Persians is Andromeda, who was an Ethiopian princess in Greek mythology. You see, in Greek mythology. That's right. No, well, let's deal with it now. Let's deal with it. If you could say Akkadians or African, Ethiopian. You see, Ethiopian. You can't start with the latecomers. You can't start with the latecomers. Okay? You talking about Africans have been in that land 100,000 years before the Akkadians or any of those show up. Okay, you can't start with them. They latecomers. They didn't come in there until Alexander. You see, they didn't come in there until Alexander. The Africans have been up in there, You understand? 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 BC. You see? So we have to deal with that. You know, we have to deal with that. So it's just like when you say Persia, that's just like when we say Arabia. It's just like saying it's a late term, but geographically it brings in your mind, you see, understanding geographically in the land mass in which we dealing with. You see, in the land mass in which we dealing with. And so, you know, in history, you know, they're going to use the term Persian, you see, but in reality, they Cushites. You see, even when you're dealing with Mesopotamia, you're dealing with Sumeria, the first capital of Sumeria was Cush. They say Kish. You see, they say Kish, but that's Cush because there's no goddamn vowels, and so they'll try to slide the I in there so you don't understand, but that's what it is. So even the first capital of Mesopotamia or Sumeria was Kish. Okay, let's look that up. Let's look that up as we begin our studies. You see, Kish. Let's deal with that. See, now listen to this. See, now, but see, this, see, the flood is no different. Now, they got the Mesopotamian flood, too, flood story, but their story is just as mythological as anything in the Bible. It says Kish, which is Cush, is the first Sumerian city-state to have kings after the Great Flood. Okay, the deluge. Okay, so they ain't had no day. The deluge is mythological. So when you're talking about in reality, the first city-state to have kings, the dynastic period, start with Cush. Period. Okay, let's matter of fact, let me drop that in there. So you understand that. Let me see if I can get a map in there. And we about to bring it up. We about to work out real quick. You see, so we have a clear understanding. Now, so what am I saying as I get that in here? When we start talking about number one, the immortals, and we're going to deal with that. See, I don't want y'all to get caught up in the 300 where y'all go, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of that is Hollywood. We got to say that now. It is. It's Hollywood. And a lot of it they're going to leave out. A lot of it they're going to leave out. Get in there. All right. Now, so right there, you're looking at the immortals. So, of course, when you look at the, you know, I got the, for shock treatment in the back, you see the Hollywood immortals. You understand what I'm saying? Because, see, anything that's black, they're going to demonize that. That's just a given, okay? Listen, if the immortals was white, do you think they would demonize them? They would just, you know, they would be reflected no different than Leonidas. You see? They would be reflected no different than Leonidas or any Roman. You see? They don't do that to the Romans. When they have movies about the Romans, they don't do the Romans like that. They don't do that. Any European origin, they don't do that to them. You see what I'm saying? So anytime, it's almost psychologically, you got to understand when you start seeing a hideous, you see, it's a repulse there. There's something that repulses the Cro-Magnon Neanderthal. You see what I'm saying? And so it's in his mind to despise it. You see what I'm saying? It's in his mind to despise it. And so the fact is that the immortals were, first and foremost, they were Ethiopians. See, we're not talking about but when you start dealing with the Persians, you're late in the game. You see a lot of people, when you see the Cro-Magnon Neanderthal show up, the book is closing. It's a new book. It ain't even a new chapter. It's a new book. The book has closed on that era of African history. And yes, it may continue. We continue on to rise again, but the book is closed. Okay, that chapter, that book it's time for a new book. You see what I'm saying? So when the Europeans show up, then you know that, and so when you start talking about the Persians and you start talking about the Arabs, and you see what I'm saying? See, in that, you have to understand that there's a changing of etymology. You see what I'm saying? Because the Cushites never used those particular terms at all. You see what I'm saying? At all. They were not Arabs. They were not Persian. That was not even the word that was used. You see what I'm saying? And so, even when you read the Mesopotamian Kush, and even when you go into the Ganges over there in India, it's the Hindu Kush. And so you see, it was Kush all across the Southern Asia. Okay, and so we have to understand that. And so when you start talking about the immortals, see the immortals, and let's reflect. Let's reflect quickly on who we talking about. See, we talking about under those Ethiopians like Memnon, even though Memnon very well was mythological, but yet and still there were many great kings that manifested all the attributes of Memnon. Okay, so because Memnon was equated with Amenhotep III. In Herodotus said that Sesostris, Senusret the first, went up into southern Russia. Then you had Semaket, who was out in the Sinai in northern Arabia cracking heads. So they don't talk about that. You see what I'm saying? So Memnon was a mythological, yet he exemplified many of the attributes of many pharaohs that went out there. The Tutmosis III, the invincible Tutmosis III, who never lost. So Memnon was only but the attributes were real. The attributes was real, and they don't say to the extent of where our African kings had conquered to. You see, so even when you talk about Troy, see cultures, which Herodotus, we went over that and said Sesostris, the mighty Sesostris. Do I have Sesostris in here? I believe I do. Here he is. Sesostris. You see, matter of fact, let me take this one, because you see, this brother is the one they say went all up into southern and found it. This was what Herodotus said. Said he founded Athens. You see, founded Athens. Let me blow it up for you. You see, so this is Sesostris the first, Senusret. You see, in the Middle Kingdom, I believe he was either the 5th king of the 12th dynasty. I had to look that one up. But he was the one that was attributed that had went into southern Russia. You see, southern Russia. And so Herodotus says there's no doubt that they're Egyptians. He didn't say, God damn it, because I'm guessing. He said, I could look right at them. They black with woolly hair, the language, the culture, they Egyptians, way up there. So God damn it, everything in between there, you already know what it looked like. Okay? Matter of fact, let me get my other one out there with my maps. I got to get my other one out there. You see? So when we start, Let me get the other one in there. Okay, there it is. Let me get it. Oh, there, it was sitting right there. Okay, let me drop that in there. Let me drop that in there. You see, so now when you're looking at Susa, you see Susa right over here to the right at the bottom. And so what you're seeing is that, you know, the military, because anytime you leave home, that's military. You see, they were adventurers. They were, they were also military. You see, even when you look at Hatshepsut, when she went to Punt, you see that she took the Magi. You see, and you see them on ships. And these are the first Marines to ever been recorded on the planet Earth. And Marines are soldiers on ships. You see what I'm saying? So the Magi was in many of the where you see them on ship. These are the first recorded Marines on the planet Earth. You see, and so they sailed in, because when you look at the founding of Elam, now you can say Elam, you see what I'm saying? And you say Sumer, whatever you choose. You see, the southern aspects of that region was the first colonized. And even the Bible speaks to that when they talk about Nimrod. You see what I'm saying? Because you're talking about the southern part is Babylonia, and then the northern part is Assyria. You see, the southern part is Assyria, but all of that was founded by Nimrod. You see, and down here it speaks to that fact. You see, it speaks to that fact, and it says right here, and Cush begot Nimrod. Nubia begot Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one on the earth. Now it says here he was a mighty hunter, but that's not true. The original said he was a giant hunter. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I'm discussing the Nephilim. You see what I'm saying? Because in it, you see some mythological, but it is also some factual. Dealing with them African tribes like the Dinka and the Watusi, over 8 damn feet. You see what I'm saying? Over 8 damn feet. And so that's what they were referring to when they were talking about the Nephilim and the Philistine. You see what I'm saying? These were attributes, and a lot of people that read the Bible don't bring that fact out, that the lineage of giants in the Bible came through the bloodline of Egypt and Cush. You see what I'm saying? People don't bring that because, dealing with Mizraim. See, and when you look at the lineage in the Bible, when it deals with Egypt, and they refer to Egypt as Mizraim, you see, and all of his descendants were suffixed with the im. In the Bible, the im is symbolic of giants and those that were closely related to God, divinity, such as Elohim. You see, seraphim, cherubim, the angels. You see what I'm saying? So only that bloodline between Egypt and also Cush, the Sabaeans, who were men of stature. You see, they were giants. They were giants, meaning that there were many tall Africans all throughout that land. Some of them over 8 feet. You see, over 8 feet. And I didn't seen it today, which I'm going to show today. And that it'll shock the mind how tall some of our people were. You see, and so Nimrod was the first one, which I'm going to bring up in when I get busy on Patreon today. I got the documentation. You see, that's what in the Septuagint, it says giant. It does not say mighty. And they took that out. You see what I'm saying? Because, this was before the supposed watchers and sons of God laid with the daughters of men. It was before that. So it was always looked at that our people was like giants, and some of that is physical, and some of it is metaphorical, meaning that they were so intellectually above the rest of the world that they were giants, and some of it is physical reality. You see what I'm saying? And so so when we talk about the immortals, we talking about the Ethiopians. You see what I'm saying? We talking about the Ethiopians, and one of the reasons why we must state because Herodotus and even, I believe, Homer, they referred to the Ethiopians, the long-lived Ethiopians. You see what I'm saying? The long-lived Ethiopians. Okay, now, and what we have to understand is this. Let me get my other map out there. I'm gonna drop it in. Matter of fact, I use the same one. I ain't got to have a whole lot. Got to have a whole lot on it. Just the right one. Well, it's still in there. I don't even know why I moved it. Okay. And so now, what's crazy about it, and when we talk about immortals, now the Hashashin, which come up out of Iran, you see, the assassins, we talking about they came on the scene around, I believe, 1090, you see, AD. But see, the immortals was the epitome of the warrior in that region, and still is. You see, I've done all the research, even though you had the Hashashin, the assassins, hand-to-hand combat, the immortals was still far more, skilled than the assassins. You see, and the reason why we have to understand is that when you're looking at this map, you're talking about these were Ethiopians and Egyptians. They cracked troops because you on the fringes of the empire. You see, if you in Sumer and you in Elam, which is Babylonia and which is Iraq and Iran of today, you on the fringes of the empire. Meaning, now when you get out there, you're a long way from home. You can't take little boys over there. You see what I'm saying? You can't take, the less skill. You got to take the best. Because if you're a long way from home, you got to have the best over there. You see what I'm saying? And so you talking about, coming across them mountains. See, these is where when people ask how Africa ended, see, the wars did not start in Africa. They started in the fringes of the empire that you see there today. You see what I'm saying? The wars, when you see up there Colchis and you see in Troy, even when you talk about Troy, people don't understand the Trojans was Ethiopians. You see, Memnon was the nephew of Pyrum, who was not even, and I'm gonna bring that up, even when you go into the scriptures, the Bible, you'll see that Pyrum in which is another Pyrum, but the Pyrum in the Bible is an African. He was a Hermetic. You see what I'm saying? And so, we have to look at that. We have to look at the similarities in a lot of that. You see, so Memnon was just like the Colossians. All that whole area had been colonized by Africa long before the Athens and all the southern Europe. That shit belonged to Africa. That did not belong to no Europeans. You see what I'm saying? And that's what you got to envision. That's where the war started. They started over there first. And then, in many of the lands, we lost there first, long before. So that's where we don't pick up on it. You see what I'm saying? We think that they didn't come. No, they didn't come straight. We lost, inch by inch from the northern areas. You see what I'm saying? We lost inch by inch coming from the eastern areas, over there in Iran and Iraq. You see, but that's where you get the immortals, because the immortality comes from the long-lived Ethiopians. Now, Herodotus was the first person that ever spoke about the immortals. Okay, so don't let nobody Herodotus. But Herodotus also stated that Susa, which was the capital of Persia, was the city of Memnon. Okay, the Ethiopian. So he acknowledged that those immortals and the indigenous peoples of that area were Ethiopian. Okay, so we got to be clear about that. Okay, and so that's where you get the immortals from. Now, let's talk about it. Because, you know, when canvases, now they still had African in them, but they had lost their loyalty. You see what I'm saying? This is when you start having the Arabs and you start having the Persians, that's just like right now today. You can have a nigga. This nigga is triple midnight black. And you can look at him and say, well, he's an African. But if you ask him, are you an African? He'll say no. He'll say, I'm an Arab. You got niggas all over the world now today. They everything but African. You understand what I'm saying? You got niggas, you got niggas, you know what I'm saying? You got niggas, Arab, these niggas are pray more. It's only allotted 5 prayers a day. These niggas pray 10 times. They'll overdo every goddamn thing. They'll join it and overdo it. You see what I'm saying? They only supposed to pray 5 times. Nigga gonna pray 10. You see what I'm saying? Niggas, they say you supposed to go around Mecca, the Kaaba 7 times. These niggas gonna go 20. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna go 20. You understand? If they in the Catholic Church and they go up there and get communion, the motherfucker gonna get communion and go to the back and get it twice, 2, 3 times. You understand what I'm saying? Nigga gonna get 4 communions. This is how they do. They gonna outdo everybody in their own shit. You see what I'm saying? So when you start talking about the Persians, a lot of them was black, but at that time it started just like you get niggas that's Arab and shit. Yeah, they be black, but they mind be other places. You see what I'm saying? They be now they want to be Persians and shit. Now they want to be Arabs and they'll fight against Africa. And so I don't want you to, get it twisted. Yes, a lot of them was black, but a lot of them didn't have no goddamn loyalty to Africa. So we must state that. You see, at one time they did, but, there came a time when they didn't. You see what I'm saying? And so now, let me bring this up very quickly. You see, so that you understand that many, you see, in the movies, you see some of the attributes that, you see similar. Now, a lot of people say, well, that's not the uniform of the Immortals. It might not have been the uniform of the Persian Immortals, but the African Immortals, you understand what I'm saying? The crack troops had all type of weaponry. You see what I'm saying? Coming up out of Africa and coming up out of Nubia, coming up out of Ethiopia. And so that bow, you understand, that bow and arrow, that was, one of the attributes of the Nubians was the bow. You see what I'm saying? And so one of the main weaponries of the Immortals was the bow and arrow. And the Nubians was, at that time, the best on the planet. You see what I'm saying? The Magi. And so the Egyptians knew to take them whenever the Egyptians went to war, they took the Nubian with them. That's their brother, and that's how that went. You see, and so when Cambyses, who was he was on his mad conquest, conquering other people's nations. This is speaking from Herodotus, where he talks about that. You see, and it says, because Cambyses had sent out his little spies. It's very reminiscent of 300. When the brother, you see the brothers come in there talking to Leonidas, and he was telling them, like, you might as well go on and lay down. You know what I'm saying? Because the army that's coming is beyond anything you ever seen in your life. So you might as well go on and lay it down. We'll make sure you looked after, but you got to bow down to Xerxes. And so he didn't go for that. That's according to the movie. He eventually died. And so they even came to Ethiopia. They sent some emissaries to Ethiopia. And the Ethiopian king already knew what was going on. You see what I'm saying? And so they were referred to as fish eaters, the Persians. You see what I'm saying? And so when they come in, you see, they says, it says 21 says, these were the men to whom the fish eaters came, offering gifts and delivering this message to their king. Cambyses, king of Persia, talking to the Ethiopian king, desiring to be your friend and guest, sends us with command to address ourselves to you. And he offers you such gifts as he himself chiefly delights to use. But the Ethiopian, perceiving that they had come as spies, spoke thus to them. It is not because he sets great store by my it is not because he sets great store by my friendship that the Persian king sends you with gifts, nor do you speak the truth, for you have come to spy out my dominions. Nor is your king a righteous man, for were he such, he would not have coveted any country other than his own, nor would he have now tried to enslave men who have done him no wrong. Now give this bow. He talking about the bow and arrow. Give him this bow and this message. The king of Ethiopians counsels the king of Persians. When the Persians can draw a bow of this greatness as easily as I do, then to bring overwhelming odds to attack the long-lived Ethiopians. See, he said because they have been dealing with the bow longer than anybody on the planet, and so the bow meaning that string, when you that wood and shit that they was using, man, the pressure on that goddamn bow, man, is hundreds of pounds of pressure. So to be able to pull that motherfucker, you see what I'm saying, and tie. You see what I'm saying? So he say, look, when y'all motherfuckers can pull this motherfucker, then you come see what, you know, whether you really want to deal with us. You see what I'm saying? And so that was showing right there. And it says the long-lived Ethiopians. You see what I'm saying? That's where you get the immortals from. Not doing, you understand? Don't let nobody steal your legacy. Them ain't no goddamn immortals. You see what I'm saying? The Persians didn't last that long. They was trying to immolate just like the Arab, trying to immolate just like the Greek and the Roman trying to immolate. You see what I'm saying? And so he said, when you could do it as easily as I could do it, then bring your ass. You see what I'm saying? And he said at the end of that, but till then, thank the gods who put it not in my mind, you see, in the minds of my sons, to win more territory than we have. So if we thought like y'all motherfuckers, you'd be in trouble. But we're not. We are righteous men and women over here. We don't covet other people's land. We don't harm people that don't do us wrong. And so he asks, and so the Persians ask him, what was the length of life and diet? You see? And the Ethiopian king said that most of them attained to 120 years. This is where the immortality come from. You see, and then he asked them, you see, and he told them what they ate. You see what I'm saying? Their food was roast meat and their drink was milk. Okay? And so down at the bottom, he asked, wait a minute, which one was that where he asked them? Oh, here it is. Matter of fact, it should have been down there. It should have been down there, but that's all right. Because it's in here. Because he asked the Persians, he said, how long do y'all live? And they only, the Persians told him what they ate and how long they lived. And it says right here, and they told him their king ate bread, showing him how wheat grew, and said that the full age to which a man might hope to live was 80 years. So the Ethiopians was living 40 years longer than the Persians. So they wasn't a fucking immortal. Then said the Ethiopian, it was no wonder that their lives were so short. If they ate dung, if they ate shit, they would never obtain even to the age, even to that age, were it not for the strengthening power of the draught, they damn beer. You see what I'm saying? And so right there, that just show you they didn't even live that goddamn long. You see? And so when you start talking about the Hashashin, you see what I'm saying? You know, they had access to the history of the immortals. You see what I'm saying? They had, and those again were the crack troops of the Ethiopian that were on the fringes of the empire, which were, you know, they were the most skilled of the Ethiopian soldiers. You see what I'm saying? So, you know, that was their crack troops. That was a lot of their special forces. Because again, if you on the, you can't get back home. And so they didn't take the boys out there. And so they were and they held empires over there for a very long, long time. A lot of that knowledge was over there. And even what you see with the Indians that came, even when you talk about India, Persia, Arabia, India, see, them terms is the latter terms. Those are the latter terms. You see? And so Kush was the original, you see, nationalistic identification. That's why you still see it over there. You see, the Kush is all through there, even all the way up into Japan. You see Kushito and all of this. So the Kushites was all through there. They was the original population. And so when we'll touch on this much deeper. You understand, the show strategy, but this is not something you could do in one session. You see what I'm saying? But when you have a lesser, you know, number, you see, and you're gonna have to do some guerrilla warfare. You see what I'm saying? That's what you're talking about. And the Ishmaelis or the Hashashin, you see what I'm saying, who were smaller in numbers, they had to equate to assassins and, you know, and to a guerrilla warfare. You see, of being assassins and bringing terror. You see what I'm saying? And you know, and threatening people's they comfortability. You see what I'm saying? To where, you know, they mastered the ability to be able to get in and out without you knowing that they were there. And so many men woke up and shit and found letters and shit. You understand, where they had been in and out of their rooms and shit and this, that, and the third. You understand? And so they mastered stealth. A lot of what you see in the ninja. You see what I'm saying? A lot of what you see in the ninja. You see, which is another order that had been influenced by the African. They talk about it. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people look at the martial arts and then they say, oh, you know, the China. Always want to talk about Bruce Lee and shit, but don't want to go to Africa. Look on the walls. You see what I'm saying? And see that the brothers was over there. You can see in the BC era, you could see them doing all type of throws, hundreds of kicks, all type of wrestling was going on, all type of Manchu arts, martial arts were already going on where China was still, you understand what I'm saying, in the Stone Age. You see, that except the Kushites that was over there that taught them that. Okay, that taught them that. And so we'll have a part 2 to this because we need to bring that up. We need to get off into the Manchu arts. And so what you see up there on the walls of Egypt, and you can understand that was some of the training that went with the soldiers over there to the fringes of the empire. You see what I'm saying? Over there. And so we'll get into that. Because before I go, when you talk about etymology, and that's another thing, that's why y'all got to get in that class. When you talk about samurai, see, a lot of people don't know that That Sam is nothing but calm. It's harm. It don't mean, or you can change the first initial. It does not. It means the same everywhere you go, and we can prove it, and we can prove it. We can prove that, and we will prove it. You see what I'm saying? So get with me, family. We got some more powerful presentations. I'm coming right back. Don't you go nowhere. This is the general. Click them links. You understand? We KingSeti.com. We got some fresh shirts out there. The lecture coming this Sunday. Alchemy, the sacred black art of alchemy, the etymology of divinity, codified in language. We're gonna reveal it to your family. Let's get in the house. Let's get front row and center. GeneralSeti.com. Get on there and check out the new occult, the band, the cult videos that's up there. Check them out. See why they banned. I'll be right back. Black Power.